The Forgotten Warrior. The HSS Indomitable hung in space, a silent sentinel watching over the fringes of human-controlled territory. The aging warship, once a symbol of humanity's strength and resilience, now bore the scars of countless battles across the decades. Captain Olivia Novak strode through the ship's corridors, her footsteps echoing in the emptiness. She had fought hard to keep the Indomitable in service, even as newer, sleeker ships took the spotlight. But now, with decommissioning looming on the horizon, she knew time was running out to prove the ship's worth. In the engine room, Chief Engineer Marcus Flynn wiped the sweat from his brow as he tinkered with the ship's ancient reactor. "She's still got some fight left in her, Captain," he said, his voice filled with a mix of pride and determination. "We'll make sure of it." Olivia nodded, a smile tugging at the corners of her lips. The crew of the Indomitable was a family, bonded by years of shared hardships and triumphs. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, no matter the odds. As she made her way to the bridge, Olivia couldn't shake the feeling that something big was on the horizon. The Indomitable had one final mission, one last chance to prove to the galaxy that she was more than just a relic of a bygone era. The crew buzzed with anticipation as they prepared for departure, each member focused on their tasks with a renewed sense of purpose. They knew that the fate of the Indomitable rested on their shoulders, and they were determined to rise to the occasion. As the ship's engines hummed to life, Olivia took her seat in the captain's chair, her eyes fixed on the stars ahead. Whatever lay in store for them, she knew one thing for certain: the Indomitable would not go down without a fight. The gathering storm. The Indomitable emerged from hyperspace on the outskirts of the Zephyrus system, a distant colony world on the edge of human space. As the ship approached, the reason for their urgent deployment became clear. A massive alien armada hung in orbit, its ships poised to strike at the defenseless colony below. Captain Novak leaned forward in her chair, her eyes narrowing as she studied the tactical display. The odds were stacked against them. The Indomitable was just one ship against a fleet of unknown size and capabilities. But she had a plan, one that would require every ounce of skill and courage her crew possessed. "Open a channel," she ordered, her voice steady despite the tension that filled the bridge. "This is Captain Olivia Novak of the HSS Indomitable. We come in peace, but we stand ready to defend this colony against any aggression." There was a moment of silence. Then a harsh, guttural voice filled the comm channel. "Your presence here is an act of war," the alien commander growled. "Leave now or be destroyed." Olivia's jaw clenched, but she refused to be intimidated. "We will not abandon these people to your mercy," she replied, her tone icy. "If you attack, we will respond in kind." As the channel closed, Olivia turned to her crew, her eyes blazing with determination. "Prepare for battle," she commanded. "We're going to show these aliens what happens when you threaten the people we've sworn to protect." The crew sprang into action, each member focusing on their assigned tasks with laser-like precision. In the engine room, Flynn coaxed every last ounce of power from the ship's aging reactor, while the weapons officers calibrated the Indomitable's armaments for maximum effect. On the bridge, Olivia studied the alien fleet, searching for weaknesses in their formation. She knew that the Indomitable's best chance of success lay in striking hard and fast, using the element of surprise to their advantage. As the alien ships began to move, Olivia felt a surge of adrenaline coursed through her veins. The Indomitable might be old and outmatched, but she had a crew that would fight to the last breath to defend the innocent. And in that moment, as the first shots of the battle rang out across the void, Olivia knew that they would not be found wanting. Against all odds, the battle raged in the space around Zephyrus colony, the Indomitable standing firm against the onslaught of the alien armada. The ship shuddered under the impact of enemy fire, but her shields held, a testament to the ingenuity and determination of her crew. In the engine room, Flynn worked frantically to keep the ship's systems running, his hands a blur as he rerouted power and patched damaged circuits. On the bridge, the weapons officers fired salvo after salvo, their aim true even as the ship bucked and twisted under the force of the alien attacks. Captain Novak gripped the arms of her chair, her eyes locked on the tactical display. The Indomitable was holding her own, but the aliens' numbers seemed endless. For every ship they destroyed, two more took its place, pressing the attack with relentless fury. Suddenly, a cry rang out across the bridge. "Captain, we're picking up a transmission from the alien flagship," the communications officer reported, his voice tight with tension. Olivia's eyes narrowed. "Put it through," she ordered, steeling herself for whatever new threat the aliens had in store. But as the transmission played out, a shocking revelation unfolded. The aliens were not invaders, but refugees fleeing a cataclysm that had destroyed their homeworld. In their desperation, they had lashed out at the colony, seeing it as a threat to their own survival. Olivia's heart clenched as she listened to the alien leader's story, her mind racing as she grappled with this new information. The Indomitable had been sent to defend the colony, but now she realized that the true enemy was not the aliens, but the very circumstances that had driven them to such desperate measures. With a deep breath, Olivia made a decision that would change the course of the battle, and perhaps the future of both their species. "Open a channel to the alien flagship," she commanded, her voice steady with resolve. As the channel opened, Olivia spoke, her words ringing out across the void. "We understand your plight," she said, her tone gentle but firm. "But violence will only breed more violence. Let us work together to find a solution, one that ensures the survival of both our peoples." There was a long, tense moment of silence. Then, miraculously, the alien leader's voice came through, filled with a mix of hope and trepidation. "We will listen," they said, their words heavy with the weight of their people's fate. And with that, the battle ceased, the guns falling silent as the Indomitable and the alien fleet faced each other across the void, no longer as enemies, but as potential allies in the face of a shared challenge. The tide turns. As news of the Indomitable stand against the alien Armada spread, reinforcements from across human space began to arrive in the Zephyrus system. Ships of all sizes and configurations dropped out of hyperspace, their crews eager to join the fight against the unknown threat. But as the human fleet approached, they were met not with hostility, but with a scene of tentative cooperation. The Indomitable hung in space alongside the alien ships, a symbol of the fragile truce that had been forged in the heat of battle. Captain Novak stood on the bridge of the Indomitable, flanked by the alien leader and a delegation of human commanders. Together, they had hammered out a plan to push back the invaders, a joint offensive that would combine the strengths of both their fleets. The human ships would provide the firepower, their advanced weapons and armor allowing them to take the brunt of the enemy's attacks. Meanwhile, the alien ships, with their unique technologies and intimate knowledge of the invaders' tactics, would act as scouts and saboteurs, striking at the enemy's flanks and disrupting their communications. At the center of it all was the Indomitable, her crew working tirelessly to coordinate the efforts of the two fleets. In the engine room, Flynn and his team pushed the ship's systems to their limits, coaxing every last ounce of power and performance from the aging vessel. On the bridge, Olivia and her officers worked to keep the disparate elements of the fleet working together, smoothing over conflicts and ensuring that everyone was on the same page. It was a delicate balancing act, but one that the Indomitable's crew had been preparing for their entire lives. As the combined human-alien fleet moved to engage the invaders, the tide of the battle began to turn. The enemy ships, caught off guard by the unexpected alliance, found themselves outmatched and outmaneuvered at every turn. The Indomitable was at the forefront of the fight, her guns blazing as she carved a path through the enemy's ranks. Her crew worked with a single-minded determination, their skills honed by years of training and experience. And as the last of the invaders' ships fell, the Indomitable and her allies emerged victorious, a testament to the power of cooperation and the strength of the human spirit. Legacy of the Indomitable. In the aftermath of the battle, the Zephyrus system became a symbol of a new era of human-alien relations. The alliance forged in the heat of combat had laid the groundwork for a lasting peace, one built on mutual understanding and respect. For the crew of the Indomitable, the victory was bittersweet. They had achieved what many had thought impossible, proving the worth of their aging ship and the indomitable spirit of its crew. But the cost had been high, with many of their number having made the ultimate sacrifice in defense of the innocent. As the ship limped back to port, its hull scarred and its systems battered, Captain Nova couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and sorrow. The Indomitable had given everything she had, and in doing so, had become a legend that would endure long after she was gone. In the years that followed, the story of the Indomitable and her crew would be told and retold, a symbol of human resilience and determination in the face of overwhelming odds. Children would grow up dreaming of serving on a ship like her, while veterans would nod sagely, remembering the sacrifices that had been made. For Olivia and her crew, the legacy of the Indomitable was a deeply personal one. They had been a family, bound together by shared hardships and triumphs, and the loss of any one of them was felt keenly by all. But as they gathered together one last time, raising their glasses in a toast to the fallen in the future, they knew that their legacy would live on. The Indomitable might be gone, but the spirit that had animated her would endure, a beacon of hope and courage in a galaxy that too often seemed dark and unforgiving. And as the stars twinkled overhead, Olivia knew that wherever their paths might take them, the crew of the Indomitable would always be connected by the bonds they had forged in the crucible of battle. They were more than just a crew. They were a symbol of what humanity could achieve when it stood together, united in the face of any challenge.